Good morning from Nairobi and welcome to Matters Financial and Geopolitical from a Frontier. I hope the week's going well. Sub-Saharan Africa, there is a logical problem, Mr. Badibanga said. It's basically impossible. The huge turnout in favor of the ruling party in parliamentary elections was surprising on a day when at least 70% of voters backed an opposition candidate for president. There is a logical problem. It's basically impossible. I take you back to Fayulu, who said, "I won't let the victory of the Congolese people be stolen. If they don't get the truth now, no one will trust any election ever again." Kabila's coalition will, of course, continue to exert a huge influence on the future of the DR Congo after winning a suspect parliamentary election in which some vote tallies were not even counted, according to 3 senior Congolese politicians. Until today, with regard to the parliamentary elections, we don't really know what were the results. Where did the results come from? They are imaginary results. Interesting article in Bloomberg Politics. In Tense Uganda, you watch the president and he watches you. Step into a cinema in Uganda's capital and you could watch an action-packed retelling of President Yoweri Museveni's ascent to power. Step outside of it and Museveni could be watching you. A new surveillance system with hundreds of cameras on Kampala's streets, a glitzy biopic made by the president's daughter. Superficially, they have little in common. But in the East African country, the former rebel has ruled with a firm grip for more than 30 years. Critics say they're part of a push to glorify his achievements and tighten control of public space before 2021 elections. The film is called 27 Guns, reenacts Museveni's 1980s revolt against Obote. But of course, he's facing a reaction on the streets amongst the youth who are backing pop star turned politician Bobi Wine, who's become a lightning rod for dissent for one of Africa's youngest populations. The youth of urban centers in Africa tend to vote for the opposition, so of course that is going to concern Museveni. The government's worried about the youth vote and the urban vote and the potential for those two to unite against a president who's getting increasingly old. In Africa, only the presidents of Cameroon, Equatorial Guinea and Congo Republic have ruled longer than Museveni. So, quite a story there, and he was of course a guest of mine at Mindspeak, and he is extremely articulate, but clearly he's now facing a real threat at the ballot box. In fact, if it was a free and fair election, he would lose. But then free and fair elections in Africa are hard to find. South Africa loses only female top 40 CEO as Maria Ramos quits ABSA. This is after a 10-year stint. She has indicated a desire to step down earlier, but agreed to see the group through the separation negotiations with Barclays, the ensuing sell down and key separation milestones. Barclays, of course, vastly underperformed the other South African banking stocks during her tenure, but the reasons for that are more complex. South African oil share up 3.13% year to date, dollar rand 13.6099, firm top of the range there as well. Egyptian pound 17.63, Nigerian oil share down 0.8% year to date, Ghana Stock Exchange down 2.99% year to date. Coming to Kenya, the central bank governor in an interview with Bloomberg's Adelaide said, "Wear a suit to get a good rate. There is no such thing as window dressing, and you should not hope that window dressing will help you. You should actually do what you need to do. Make sure you have a solid argument, a solid foundation, and wear a suit, and then you will get a good rate." I wrote over the weekend how we now deal with the balance sheet is key. However, a $3.5 billion call is tactically the right call. It kicks the can down the road and takes advantage of what's been quite a rally in yields. They've come a lot lower, particularly in African Eurobonds. It's an opportunity for the government to tap the market. He said we expect economic growth for 2018 to be at 6.1%. He also said there were more than 2 million tourist arrivals in 2018. Remittances were at an all-time record. more than $2.697 billion, which is 39% growth year on year. I wrote over the weekend the shilling has strengthened to 100.7 last. Every January, every year, every forecast about the shilling predicts a 10 to 15% devaluation. I called it mind-boggling. I said the key levers with regard to the shilling are the price of fuel and inward remittances, both of which fuel is low, inward remittances are high. Remittances, according to the central bank governor, were 3% of GDP. Net FDI is around 1% of GDP, 3 times higher. The governor's expecting growth of 6.3% in 2019. In the immediate aftermath of the January 15 terrorist attack, there were concerns, but when the response was seen as swift and appropriate, the response was resilient. The forex and securities markets were stable, or in some cases even strengthened. That article, I called it Reasons for Optimism. The NSC, I said, has opened bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. We've now pushed on, but as of Monday, we were up 4.31% in 2019. We're now up over 5%. Debt as a share of GDP was 56.5% in September 2018. Java House is injecting $1 billion shillings, $10 million into East African growth as Actis buys out the Abraj Group. The Nairobi All Shares up 5.6% year to date. The NSE 20 is lagging, but it's up 3.77% year to date. And lest you forget, we got Mindspeak this weekend at Movenpick, which is not too far away from here. I met with Simon Bransfield-Garth, the CEO of Azuri Technologies this morning, and I'm really excited about this Mindspeak. He's really a very interesting, forward-thinking thinker. And the way he's looking at this opportunity is different to, I would say, all his competition. Come and listen. There are business opportunities. There's an opportunity to engage him. And I really think it'll be very interesting for folks to come along. So we serve breakfast from 9. We start at 10. Thank you.